Welcome, I'm Dr. Darrell Green. I am with Oklahoma Baptist University. This is MKTG 3383, which is our digital marketing class. This is our finale, what we call our micro internships, where we partner our students with companies all across the world. This semester, not only this class, but other class, we've gone to Georgia, to various places, also hitting places like South Africa. So we're looking forward to this. Today we have 4 presentations. If you can stay tuned, on Friday we'll have another session of dynamic presentations. So I want to introduce our reviewers that I have right now. Briefly introduce themselves. Dr. Cragen. Okay, that's a wave. Dr. Cragen, just say hello to the people.
Hello to the people.
Okay, thank you so much. He is an OBU grad, and he's a professor at OBU. We have Professor Lloyd. Professor Lloyd, you're in the house.
Hello, friends. Glad to be here today. Looking forward to the presentations.
We have Mr. Nash, an OBU alumni.
Hello.
Great job. You want to tell them where you work at, man? We might want to get a job, Mr. Nash.
I am currently the regional events manager for a place called Woodbridge Home Solutions, managing most of North Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas.
So I'm just gonna, is Miss Powell here yet? Or Miss Susan? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So our order, so here's how it plays out. We're on a digital platform. So we're going to ask the reviewers to keep their comments or questions to 15 to 30 seconds, and response from our student teams are going to be 30 seconds or to 60 seconds. So we have four teams lined up today. I am going to be the timer. They will see the times. The times are supposed to be 6 minutes. I am going to be timing them, and you'll be seeing it in the comment section. We are going to start with Team 3. Give it up for Team 3. Team 3, you're up.
Okay, can everyone see the screen?
Yes, you're good.
Okay. What's up, everyone? My name's Connor Heath. I'm alongside Mallory Lockhart, and we had Julie Hokett as our client, and she is the sole proprietor of Insurance and Financial Design. So before I dive into the agenda, I'd just like to thank our OBU mentors for this process. My mentor was Justin Crooks. He is a part of the Oklahoma City Farmers Insurance branch, and Mallory Lockhart's her mentor was Lisa Roth from Love's Travel Stop. So diving into the agenda, first we want to talk about the organizational background, then we'll move into the client problems, marketing strategy, detailed schedule, digital marketing analysis, results, lesson learned, and then we'll follow up with the conclusion. Okay, so starting off, Julie Hokett is a sole proprietor. She started Insurance and Financial Design in August of 2020, kind of during that COVID era, and she is also located in downtown Shawnee. So some of the problems that she mentioned to us that she was facing was she wanted to expand her social media presence. She wanted to get out there a little bit more, specifically in the Shawnee and OKC markets, considering that's where most of her clients are from. That's where she wants to target. Also, she wanted to increase her organic online traffic. As far as our marketing strategy that we want to integrate for her business, we want to highlight community service to grow her brand and exposure. She does a lot of community service. She works with a lot of nonprofits, things like that. We also want to upload content consistently to generate more follower interaction. So we use things like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook to help her post things that can generate more buzz and feedback. Last, we wanted to run some Facebook ads and monthly email campaigns to try to gain some new clients for her and get her name out there more. So these are some of the things we worked on this semester. We did some advertisements and holiday flyers. This one on the left was in the Shawnee Outlook. This was a big advertisement that we also posted in, we used it for Facebook ads and Instagram ads as well. We wanted people to see what kind of insurance she offered. Also in the middle, we did a Happy Mother's Day one. I know that's recently passed, but we worked on that earlier this semester. Then also we had one for graduation. We wanted to give her something that she could use even once we're done once we're done working with her. So we wanted to make sure there's a long-lasting impact there. The last thing I'll talk about is the detailed schedule. So this internship lasted around 3.5 months. Starting in February, we want to create a postcard that we could send out to local businesses in Shawnee. This is a physical postcard, not a digital one. And we made a QR code as well for her in February. We posted that QR code on her postcard, and there's also business cards that featured this QR code. And that QR code basically was able to take her to her website, and so people can kind of see what she offers, what rate she offers, things like that. March, we launched a email marketing campaign and made a logo video for the client that she can use. April, we wrote a news article about Julie's referral program. This kind of highlights kind of how the program works, and it was also featured in the Shawnee News. And then the last thing we did in April was launch the Facebook and Instagram ads. And so, yeah, with that, I'll pass it off to Mallory for the digital marketing analysis.
So for our digital marketing analysis, we did a digital marketing checklist. So with this, we analyzed her web design, her content, her SEO, and her social media. We also did a competitive analysis. So we compared Farmers Insurance and Liberty Mutual to insurance and financial design. With all that information that we gathered, we were able to kind of develop a stoplight analysis. So the red is something like that she lacks in her business. So with this, she lacked a good SEO keywords. She was not at the top of the page whenever you Googled her name. She lacked a strategy or a marketing plan. And the yellow is something that she's present in, but it's not great at the moment. So her social media presence, she has a presence, but it's not defined, or she doesn't have a lot of followers. So on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. And then the green is something she's really, really good at right now, which is a defined customer demographics and differentiation. So our current results, we have the QR code scans, which is 10. We know this is a little low, but that's because whenever we developed her business cards, the QR code was too small for people to be able to actually scan. So that's why our results for that are pretty low. We did run a 7-day long Facebook ad campaign. So with this campaign, we reached about 4,000 people. We had 39 post engagements, 2 post shares, and 34 links clicked. And then every month she ran an email campaign, but in March especially, we just highlighted this because she had a 52.8% open rate. And so some of the feedback that we got from our client is that Connor and I were really fun to work with this semester, and we brought ideas to the table. And then she just said that we would be wonderful assets to our future employers. So our lessons learned, my lesson learned was communication is crucial. You always want to communicate, make sure all 3 people are in communication and that we're all on the same page all the time. And Connor's is that not everything is going to work out the first time, and then adjustments need to be made so that they can benefit in the long run. And then in conclusion, we're just grateful for this experience. We developed skills, communication, digital marketing skills, and then our client is on the path to further grow and develop. And we just want to thank Ms. Julie and Dr. Green for this micro internship. And we are open to questions.
Thank you so much. We do have the client in the room, so we want to give her a couple of seconds to add anything she wants to comment. Miss Julie, you're on. You can say something if you wish.
Thank you, guys. I just want to say that Mallory and Connor did an amazing job. They were very open to any ideas that I had, and if they didn't know how to do something, they were eager to figure out a way. And of course, there are several things that I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to accomplish those things. And, you know, they were able to help me, teach me, and show me how I can do those things. So I was very impressed with them, and I feel like that they have a very good knowledge of marketing, and they will definitely be an asset to to someone.
Well, thank you, Ms. Julie. We've been working with you for over three semesters. And now we'll have our reviewers. Here's the order. We'll start with Dr. Cragen, Lord, and Nash.
Okay, I'd want to express my thanks to Julie too. That's a really not only a smart thing for her to do, but it contributes to what the students learn. A good presentation by both of you. I think it was sharp, well done video, visuals, and concise to the point. I guess I'll hold off questions until later.
Okay. Next, we'll have Lord.
I thought the presentation was well done, very professional in the speaking. You both conducted yourselves in a very professional way. The professional dress, background, everything looked appropriate. The only thing I would suggest is with your slides, give us more visuals. There were lots of words there. We want to see more pictures. Remember, this is a form of entertainment. Anytime that you're in front of an audience, you want to inform first, but a key characteristic of being informative is to hold the audience's attention, and words on a screen fall short of that. So give me more visuals, but overall, well done.
Good job. We have Nash.
Yes. So I thought the presentation was great. I loved all the metrics because I'm a KPI kind of person. The major question I had was, what was the purpose of the flyers? And did the flyers have QR codes? And were those QR codes linked to maybe another web page where you could track the KPIs of how successful they were in reaching the audience?
So the ad that you saw in the Shawnee Outlook, that when you saw the little logo at the bottom said click here, so it was a digital ad. So when you clicked on the link or clicked on the little picture, it brought you straight to her website. And then the two ads that were on the right, the Mother's Day and the graduation, those were just kind of just for her to post on Instagram or Facebook and just kind of just be like Happy Mother's Day from her company.
Okay. So we also have introduce yourself. We also have Ms. Powell. If you introduce yourself, and if you have any comments, you could bestow that now.
Hi, everyone. I'm Haley Powell. I'm currently a landscape architect with TVG Partners here in Dallas. First of all, I want to apologize for my tardiness. I had a previous meeting that ran a little bit long, so I really only caught the tail end of the presentation. Yeah. But overall, I was really impressed with the slides you put together, Mallory, as well as your pacing as you're talking. Even as you got the 1-minute warning, I didn't sense any panic. I didn't fumble around with your words. It seemed like you were very well prepared and very well rehearsed. I would second the comment on visuals. As you're presenting, a lot of times words kind of become a jumble for the audience. So I would really focus on photographs, and if you have them, diagrams to illustrate your goals, your actions, and ultimately how things played out. That's my comments on just what I saw. Overall, I was very impressed.
Okay, thanks so much. We have, I just want to mention, we have Dr. Holden. Wave at him, Dr. Holden. Dr. Holden is chair. So this team's presentation was 6 minutes and 10 seconds, which is within line. Let's use your reactions, and let's give a virtual applause for team number 3. Virtual applause. Come on, work on that. Give me something. Let's stay in line. Okay. Great job. Our next presenters are team number 5. Team number 5, you on.
Hi, everyone. Today we're going to be going off of 2 devices here. So this is me and BJ. We're for team 5, and together we worked for Dr. Shepard. And then let me go ahead and share my screen right now so you guys can see.
Okay, hold on. As you go, we have Mr. Willis. You had a question, Mr. Willis? I said raise hand.
I'm sorry, no question.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so like I was saying, team 5 here, Thomas Meadow, and this is Brian Westmoreland. We were given the opportunity to work for Dr. Robert Louis Shepard. We just want to go ahead and thank you, Dr. Green, for allowing us to be able to work with Dr. Shepard. And we also wanted to thank our mentors. My mentor was Antoinette Kelly, and his mentor was Aaron Regis. What we're going to cover today is the organization background, the issues that our client face, the marketing strategy, the detailed schedule, digital marketing analysis, the results from that, and then the lessons learned.
Yeah, so the organization background, our client was Dr. Robert Shepard Lewis Shepard, and he was a renowned scientist while being mentored to people. He was also a speaker, and he wrote his own autobiography. He has multiple degrees, including his doctor's, and his location is Rockville, Maryland. For the client problems, we need to increase his online traffic, increase the buyer of his book, and expand the social media presence he has.
The strategy that we wanted to use for that was to be able to upload content consistently. We noticed that doing research that Dr. Shepard, before we started working for him, was kind of inconsistent with posting through social media. So we wanted to be able to do that, and which would further lead to more followers coming to his Facebook. And then we also wanted to create Facebook ads. We were able to create 2 Facebook ads that ran for a week, and that was able to generate followers as well. Right here is the couple items of the content that we were created. At the top, we have a media press release that was just released yesterday. That is through IssueWire. And then at the bottom, we were able to, after discussing with Dr. Shepard, we were able to talk to him about making his Facebook page more appealing. And then we were able to get him to change his cover photo, and then also be able to upload a couple of content on his Facebook page. Right here is the detailed schedule. So we were able to start working with Dr. Shepard in February. February was basically just brainstorming ideas and researching what analytics that we needed to work on and what we basically needed to do to increase his traffic and bring more traffic to his website. Then during March, we were able to go ahead and launch the first and second Facebook ad. And we were also able to make a logo video for Dr. Shepard. And then in April, we were able to wrap it up by posting 2 new videos on YouTube, which was a video of a recording of Dr. Shepard and myself and BJ all speaking together. And then as you see in the previous slide, we were able to write a news article and get that published as well.
Yeah, so for the digital marketing analysis, we did a spotlight chart analysis. With that, we were able to evolution on Dr. Shepard's. We had 10 key marketing keys we wanted to fix, and we also analyzed that with social media, web designs, content, and SEO.
Right here, these are the current results from the, to the right, we have the Facebook ads. This is total from both Facebook ads. So total, we were able to reach over 4,000 people. We were able to get 5 post engagements and then 112 link clicks, which also generated to allowing 28 new Facebook page likes. And then to the left is the Google Analytics. At the top, we have at the beginning of last year, February 12th through May 2nd, those numbers at the top show that the amount of users that came to his website from last year. And then at the bottom, when we worked with Dr. Shepard from February 12th to May 2nd of 2022, we were able to significantly increase that number from obviously 90s to over 200s. The client feedback, to sum it up, basically Dr. Shepard was very proud of us and the journey that we took with him. He sees the great potential in the 2 of us, and he was just very ecstatic to work with us.
With our lesson learned, I learned that communication is key. If all three of us are on the same page, then everything will be smoother.
And then my lesson learned was that we just needed to manage our time better. At the beginning, we got off to a rough start, but over time, we were able to put things together and be able to work with him better on that. And then in conclusion, we just really enjoyed our time spent with Dr. Shepard, and we are thankful for the opportunity, and we thank you, Dr. Green.
Thank you so much. If you unshare your screen, we'll now have, we do have the client in the room. Dr. Shepard, would you like to say something at this time? Unshare, thank you. Dr.
Yes,
Shepard.
absolutely. First of all, thank you, Dr. Green, for reaching all the way over on the East Coast to include my organization in this fine program that you've put together, you and your team out at Oklahoma Baptist University. It's obvious to me in working with these two fine student athletes who, by the way, have great potential for their lives going forward, no doubt, because the way they manage their time between the football schedule, between classroom, and then working with me, I was most impressed. And I think, Dr. Green, that going forward on the other side of COVID, that this kind of addition to the educational platform, I think is just going to be marvelous, because students are going to be able to benefit from individuals that are not in their backyard. Thank you for the opportunity. And Brian, you and Thomas, just keep on doing what you're doing, and I think you're going to be fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that feedback. Now we'll go, the order is going to be Lord, Nash, Powell, and Cragen. Professor Lord, you're up.
Gentlemen, I think that you did an outstanding job. Just to echo the words of Mr. Shepard there, Dr. Shepard, you guys did an outstanding job representing your client and representing him well and giving him access to avenues that perhaps he was unfamiliar with. So good job on educating your client and then leading him in exposure to avenues for his work that perhaps he had not thought of before. One thing that I think you might consider in the future, if you're ever given an opportunity like this again, obviously with access to someone of Dr. Shepard's caliber as a leader and as a writer and as a thinker, you might think about conducting an interview with him. So via Zoom, you could have done an interview with him about his work, about his life. That would have helped you in honing what you want to do for him as a client, but also that serves as content that then you can edit and he can share via social media. So it basically kills two birds with one stone. You do an initial client interview, then you have content from that interview to divide up and to make into social media video posts. So that's something that you may want to think about in the future. Good job, guys.
Good deal. Nash?
Yeah, so I thought everything was great. I thought it very much mirrored the last presentation that we got, where we got to see the overall KPIs. One of my questions is, when you're talking with your client, in this case, Mr. Shepard, Dr. Shepard, what were the estimates? What were you kind of looking at hitting? What were those targets? And did you have those targets, and did you hit them?
After speaking with Dr. Shepard, for the first Facebook ad campaign, we actually did not have a target. We just actually set the metrics to the demographics to hit all of the United States. And then for the second one, after discussing with Dr. Shepard, we were able to actually hone in on which demographics we wanted to target and how many people we wanted to reach. And for the first Facebook ad campaign, it really didn't generate a lot of traffic to his book. So that second ad campaign was also, not also, but it was for us to be able to really bring traffic into his website and people reading his book and coming to his book. So if there was a set number, we didn't really put a set number. We just wanted to increase the number from the last Facebook ad.
Powell?
I really enjoyed the presentation. I think you guys both did a really wonderful job presenting the information. I would say from a graphic standpoint, I think each one of your slides individually looked really nice and well put together, but I would say it was kind of lacking in cohesion from my standpoint, as it looked like you kind of plucked different slides from different presentations. I would have liked to see kind of a more standard look to it, to where you pick kind of maybe a color theme or a setup and kind of work with that throughout. And I think that could really sharpen up how the presentation reads to a viewer. I think overall, you both did really well verbally presenting everything, except I would say there were some points where what the slide said is pretty much what you said. And I think it would be beneficial. I don't think you're reading the slides, but I think there needs to be a difference there, or else if you're saying the thing that the slide is saying, it's kind of redundant at that point. So I think I would either flesh out the slide a little bit more, maybe add some more detail, or maybe trim back what you're saying. I just think that would maybe take your presentation to the next level. But overall, I'm really impressed with what you guys put together.
Okay, thank you. We got a quick, Dr. Shepherd, you want to inject quite quick?
Yeah, just a quick one to Dr. Nash's point. Yes, what we did was we gave the young men, Thomas and Bryant, my Google Analytics going back to 2014, and it showed the presence on the slide on the website across the world, and with dominance in Brazil and in Russia. But I told them we don't have time to vet that out, and I wanted them to just concentrate on the U.S. Thank you.
Thank you. Finally, Dr. Craig, you got it.
Yeah, the one thing that I was lacking was, as soon as I saw what I thought the subject was, I was really excited, but then I didn't know what it was for sure. In other words, here's a man whose work is not just writing books. I suspect he's impacting lives. And I wanted to see some comment about that's what you were trying to accomplish. If it was book sales, then fine, just give me the numbers. But I suspect he goes way, way beyond that, just from his comments. So I would have liked to have seen something about that.
Good points. Appreciate it. Team Fast presentation was 5 minutes and 49 seconds, which is in a time frame. Let's give them a virtual applause. Let's try a little bit better. Next up will be Team 4. Team 4, you're up.
And just before we get started, our client wasn't able to show up, but she did send us a video she would like to play after we present.
Okay.
You didn't see that.
Yes, you're good.
Okay, so we had the opportunity of working with Adelante Dance Studio. And just a little bit about our team, myself, Brittany Profit, and my co-lead Solomon Walling, we split communication roles. And just quick shout out, my mentor was Farouk Kareem and his mentor was Alejandro Castillo. So this is just kind of our agenda for the slide for going forward. And just to introduce our client a bit, the main person we worked with was Angel Balsavich, and she's really big on family and community. She's been at Adelante Dance Studio since 2003, and she actually took it over in 2020, right during the pandemic. And Adelante Dance Studio focuses on Latin style dancing, but they also teach salsa, they teach clogging, aerial silks, and belly dancing, but we don't do that here. They also do wedding dance rehearsals and quinceañeras. We did try to meet up on Zoom once a week. We occasionally had scheduling issues, but for the most part, we stuck to the schedule. Within the first 2 weeks, we got an idea of what she was looking for, and we did our best to meet those goals. And some of those was getting a posting schedule set up for Instagram. She wanted a sign outside so we could be able to advertise for her studio and people would know where it is, and just more advertisement on social media. kind of a breakdown of the schedule we had for Instagram was a 3 times a week posting. So we would post on Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. Sunday and Friday had informational posts about the specific classes that were catered to. The weekday classes were in the evening so that people that had jobs during the weekday could still attend these. And the classes on the weekends were more in the morning so that people could have their evenings free to do whatever they wanted. And then on Wednesday was just for any event she had going on that month that would get posted there, or just a fun post like a dancing quote or a funny photo just on Wednesday, just so it would have a constant schedule. Basically, her biggest issue, she told us this, and then we also figured it out through checking all her social medias. She was not active on Instagram or TikTok, and she had a really low social footprint for the most part. And that was pretty much her biggest issue, was just social media. Otherwise, she was doing fairly well. And I'm going to hand it off to Solomon. He's going to finish us out.
Apologies there, I had it muted. And so anyway, so we did an analysis checklist, and through that, we saw that we saw what our client was doing right and what our client was doing wrong. And we also asked our client what she was looking for and what she was having troubles with, and which she informed us was having a younger clientele. And one of the ways that we assessed this was by printing out posters and distributing to the, we suggested that she distribute to the local school districts, as well as telling it to our friends through word texts on GroupMe. Next. And so another analysis that we did was the stoplight charts. And as you can see, red is our client's strength, and the yellow is what she had going on, but was not really her strength. And the green is what she has figured out. So as you can see, our client didn't have that much presence on TikTok, even though she had it. And she had no schedule for posting on Instagram, and little visible marketing for studio location, limited younger generation customer base. However, our client did have her dance services clearly stated, and as well as having a defined customer base. And as a result, we set a posting schedule for Instagram, as Brittany mentioned in the past. But we were unable to help with TikTok, and we designed a design for her to place outside the studio alongside animating a logo video made for her company. And the client feedback, and she, as Brittany said, she sent us a video alongside a message, but Angel told us she enjoyed working with us, as well as she was grateful to have both of us. And she said that we were very good communicators throughout the time. And although we had hiccups throughout the semester due to some of the breaks that we had, we were able to text when we could, and FaceTime, and as well as Zoom. And our lesson learned is that we, working together and communication was vital to how our team is working. And we always had to check back together and with our client. We made sure both parties are still working together for the same goal. And thank you. And that's what we have. And we're open to questions.
Thank you so much, Team 4. You unshare your screen. That will help. We're gonna start with, we're gonna do Nash, Powell, Cragen, and Lord.
Dr. Green, you said we could share my clients.
We don't have time. We don't have time right now.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, we don't have time for it right now. So Nash, Powell, Cragen, and Lord.
Okay, great job, Team 4. I guess one of the two parts to my question is How many customers were you able to bring in? I didn't see any results off of what you had done. And did you post anything with a coupon or a discount in any of the flyers or anything online?
So she actually already has a setup discount. So students and military get a discount off of her base rate for social events, but her like dance classes, you really only get a discount if it's you brought a bunch of people with you, and then she'll mark off some. And then the amount of people we brought in, we had no set way of knowing, because a lot of people just said we found out from social media, we found it from word of mouth. They didn't specify, because when she has these events, she just has like people sign in and it's just a list. The last event I went to one of them. We got 70 people in one night, and that was about 30 more than she had normally. So I'd say we were bringing in a good bit for a while.
Okay, good deal. Powell?
Overall, I really liked the presentation. One thing I did note was throughout the presentation, you guys made a lot of references to having no presence on TikTok. And then there was kind of like a results slide, and you just said, oh, well, we were unable to help with TikTok. And maybe like you could have framed that a little bit better. You could have either maybe chose to not highlight TikTok because you're unable to help with it, or maybe reframe it and say like, hey, we're going to revisit this in the future when we have more resources at hand or something. Because if you're going to bring it up multiple times throughout the presentation, like, crap, we actually can't do that. It kind of puts the skids on all the other great work that you've done throughout. And I would also second Chris Nash's comment about kind of maybe wanting to see some results, maybe find a way to track that, but just saying we had more people in there for a little while. It's not you really want to end on a triumphant note. And I think you guys probably did some really great work, but I want to see that represented somehow. And I'd also say a couple of your slides felt a little dense, maybe consider breaking them up so that they're a little bit more easily visually digested. But overall, I think you did a great job.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you so much. Next will be Cragen.
Yeah, I agree with the comment about TikTok, and I can definitely see why you guys would have prioritized that given the subject area. Obviously, TikTok would be exactly the kind of place you'd want to go. So I'm not concerned that you showed you didn't do it, because at some point in time, you'd have to explain why didn't you do TikTok? Because that clearly was going to be a major tool for you. Did you guys have to do this by distance the same way as Team 5 did?
Yes, we did. We did it over Zoom, but Brittany was able to visit her dance studio at least 2 or 3 times.
Okay, great. Because I think I'd just be interested in some time or another hearing how challenging it was for both of those teams to do the work they needed to do over distance. Because that one thing we learned during this COVID crisis was how to increase those skills. And it sounds to me like you guys really pushed that.
Yeah, Dr. Creighton, that's a prerequisite. I tell the students, if you can meet with them, great, but we'll assume that they're working remote. That's the assumption. They have to do that. So that's a plus. Lord, you up?
There are 2 axioms that I think of when it comes to this particular group, and they're full of wisdom. The first one is accentuate the positive. So it's already been said, if you're going to talk about something and you weren't able to accomplish it, downplay that information, upplay the results. And so when you talk about helping your client get on Instagram, show us those particular pictures, show us what you were able to accomplish, show us the Instagram page that you created and what that looks like. And even if you're talking to your client and for the purposes of this class, that gives her an opportunity to garner more followers. Share her Instagram handle, share her Facebook handle, share her Twitter handle, get the information out about your client. The second axiom is show, don't tell. So with your particular slides, give us more visual representations. Give me pictures that demonstrate this is your workflow, this is how it was before, and this is the finished product, and end on that positive note. Thank you.
Good job. Team forced presentation was 5 minutes and 58 seconds, which is within the time frame. Let's give them a virtual applause if you would. And our last presenters of the day is going to be presenters team one. Team one, you're up.
All right, so I'm gonna share my screen here. Sorry. All righty, so I am Taylor James and my partner is Sadie, and we were team one and we worked with Kirk Startup Solutions. And to meet the team, of course, like I said, my partner is Sadie Hotsedler, and she was the lead, and her mentor was Oliviana Combs. And then I am Taylor James. I was the co-lead, and my mentor was Jerry Shepard, and we are very thankful for them, and we had them throughout the semester. So this is just an overview of what we'll be looking at today. So a little bit about our client, some of the issues, our strategy, how we wanted to help, and our marketing tools that we used for that. The schedule throughout the semester, our ending results, some feedback that he gave, and some of our lessons. So a little bit about Anthony. His name is Anthony Kirk. He goes by Tony preferably, and he's the starter or creator of Kirk Startup Solutions. It is based in Oklahoma City. He previously worked in oil for about 7 years, and then he, moved to start up his company, and he's been self-employed for a little over 3.5 years. So some of the problems that he was having, when you looked him up, you couldn't really find anything about him or Kirk Startup Solutions. So he had very low SEO. His website was not launched yet. He did have one, but he was still in the process of kind of finalizing everything and getting it out there. His social media pages, he didn't really have anything other than his personal, Facebook, and then LinkedIn page for his personal page, and then his Kirk Startup Solutions page. And then he didn't have a solid client base, which we were trying to build up. So our strategy, of course, was to launch the website. Like I said before, he did have one, it just wasn't out. And so when people are looking up, especially for a startup company, you want to have something they can go to and look for. So we wanted to build that up, ties along with his SEO. We also wanted to engage users by reaching out with email. So we were using HubSpot for that, and Sadie will go into details about that later. And then we wanted to expand our reach through his LinkedIn business page. So that was our main focal point for social media, was LinkedIn. And what we did was we focused on the digital marketing checklist. So that allowed us to look at what was okay and kind of what needed more work or what he didn't have. As well with that, we did the stoplight, and that allowed us to hone in on our focal points and our trouble spots. And then I will pass it to Sadie to go into our schedule for the year.
So this is just kind of a week by week schedule of what we did. So in the first 2 weeks, we just compared him to his competitors and saw what they were doing to see what was working for them. Step 2, weeks 3 and 4, we created content. So we created the content for his social media pages. So we started posting on Instagram as well as LinkedIn. We created his business LinkedIn page because he only had a personal one. And so we created that and started posting on that as well. Step 3, weeks 5 and 6, we reviewed the analytics of those posts we made to see what we could do better. And then weeks 7 and 8, we started creating emails for our email marketing campaigns. We sent out a total of 3 emails over the course of the 7th through 10th week. And then in the 9 and 10 weeks, we analyzed those emails as well and figured out what we could change for next time. So these are the results of the email marketing campaign. So like Taylor said, we did use HubSpot. So we were able to create all 3 emails on HubSpot. The open rate for our first one was a little over 68%, which was really good. And then after that, it started going down, but it's still in the upper 30s. So it was still a good open rate for what we were sending out. These are the results of the business LinkedIn page. So we created it in February, close to the end of February, and we started at 0 followers and we gained a total of 17 throughout the course of this micro internship. We also tracked the LinkedIn connections on his own personal page. So there was a growth of 25 with that. And the business LinkedIn pages likes, comments, and shares, and then as well as his Instagram followers, which gained a total of 20. So this is just some client feedback from Mr. Kirk. So he was just really thankful for the stuff we did in this internship. He said that we added value to his company that would remain for years, and that we'll both do really, really well in our future endeavors. Just a little bit of the lessons that we learned. So for me, I just learned how to effectively manage an email marketing campaign. I've never done that before. I'm a graphic design student, so I was just taking this marketing class just to kind of advance my skills in that. And so it was just really beneficial for me, I feel like, for my future career.
And what I took away is sometimes, the most difficult part is getting the word out, being that, he is a small business. You want to make sure that people know about it. So just getting that is a little hard to do.
So just in conclusion, we just think that Kirk's in a good position to continue his business. He has gained, I believe, 5 clients since we started this internship. And it was a little harder to meet with him towards the end because he was busy meeting with clients after his normal day job. So we're just really thankful for him and the opportunity that Dr. Green and the Business College have given us in this internship. So thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We are going, you're going to share the screen for us. And we're going to go with Powell, Cragen, Lloyd, and Nash.
Great job, you guys. I really liked how you guys put together the presentation. You had a really nice speaking pace throughout. I felt like you did a really good job of presenting where he was versus where you ended up. One thing, and I would think this could probably apply to multiple presenters throughout the day, but I would really like to see examples of some of the social media posts you put together. I think that's a really awesome opportunity to showcase some of the work that you've done and kind of give an example of the development throughout the process. I really liked how clearly you stated the numbers for your results. And I think beyond the graphic examples of your work, I think it would also be beneficial to maybe consider breaking down the graphs that you showed a little bit more. It looks like you guys took some screenshots of some Excel files, maybe going a little bit of an extra mile, creating maybe a line chart or something like that rather than just the copy and paste. But I think that's a little bit of a minor comment. Overall, I think you did really well.
Thank you so much. Cragen?
Yeah, I thought the visuals were outstanding. And of course, that you'd expect from an art student. Good job on that. I would bring that to it. And Taylor, you're just a great communicator. You always have been. So that doesn't surprise me a bit. I too would have liked to seen some visuals of what you actually did. And in this case, since it's a startup helping startups, I would have liked to have heard you comment about 1 or 2 of the new clients they brought in and how you use that in the advertising going forward.
Great comments. Lloyd?
Yes, well done, very well spoken, good communicators. I think something that you have in common with all of the presenters today is that you are telling a story. And I think if you want to think about improving these kinds of presentations in the future, think about fleshing out that narrative. So every one of you have the classic elements of the hero's journey in the narrative. So you are serving as the guide to your client who is the hero. You're taking them from where they are to where they end up. And so they're facing obstacles and adversities in between. So think about being more creative in the way that you tell that story, especially if you're going into a presentation where you're being compared to other presenters. You want to do everything within your power to stand out. And sometimes that's just the little things. So you have all of the elements of a great story. So just tell that story in a more compelling way. Good job.
Thank you so much. And Nash.
Not to kind of mimic the rest of the wonderful panel, but I think they were onto something by saying, you know, give those examples. And I love it when it's really hard to nitpick a presentation, because that's how I felt, is I had to kind of go, what else would I like to see? I think for students, you did an amazing job. This was definitely a presentation that caught my eye with the graphics and everything else. But to kind of go off of what they said, I would also like to see kind of how people are going after their target audience. How are you figuring that out? What are you trialing out to get to that final target that you're going after, you know, in addition to the graphics? But I think it was a great job.
Great job. So we want to thank all our reviewers. This kind of wraps it up. On Friday, we'll continue this. Again, I believe this is innovative. We're building our platforms. We're trying to teach our students how to navigate a digital divide. And I think that's an advantage for us. So I want to, any guests would like to say anything as we leave? I'm going to let I'm going to let Dr. Holden wraps us up. I'm going to let the reviewers speak. But any of our guests would like to say a few words, we'd appreciate it. Okay, go ahead, Miss Pam.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shepard's daughter, and I have to say, this was so good. I come from a very different industry. I am a creative, but I also work with clients. I'm also in the business of narrating stories, and just the way you all gave feedback to the students, this was really, really, really good. And your work was great. So good job, y'all.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the reviewers, and I'm just gonna, if you could give us 30 seconds takeaway from the day. We're gonna go with Cragen, Lloyd, Nash, and Powell.
Okay, so I agree with the statement that was just made. Well done, Dr. Shepard, to bring her in. I'm sure that was your doing. She did a great job. But this is an addition to the way we do things at OBU that I think is a big addition. We're talking about coaching here. We're talking about experience. We're talking about being able to walk out in that first interview and say, hey, I've already done that. Here's what I did. Let me connect you with my client.
Good job. Thank you, Dr. Cragen. Lloyd?
I think it's great that we have a creative professional in the audience. So kudos on everything that she said. One of the big things that you can take away from your university experience is collaboration. And I think that's something that we don't emphasize enough at the university. You're in the business school, but you can learn a lot from the visual and performing arts. You can learn a lot from the persuasive arts. Tell that story, be compelling, because anytime you're in front of an audience, whether it's business, theology, or education, anytime you're in front of an audience, you have an obligation to hold that audience's attention. And that starts with entertaining them and weaving a compelling narrative. So good job, everyone.
And just want to add, but Professor Lloyd has helped coaching our students' presentations. He is also a client, and he will be featured on Friday. So they'll be interested in him in that role. And finally, Nash.
So I agree with Mr. Lloyd on, you know, doing the narrative. I love this. I was actually a part of, you know, some of the first things that this started out on. You know, I graduated in 2019. Yeah, I was an old student. The great thing that I love about this is I think, you know, watching how it's grown and gotten better. I think through the experience of not just, you know, Dr. Green and OBU, that they've gotten better themselves in telling the narrative of what's going on to get more buy-in from these companies and these people that are wanting help, and showing them that, you know, all of the metrics from before on how they're actually helping these companies. So you get more buy-in. And I remember, you know, we used to hound them to try to talk to them. And now I love seeing that they're talking and they're having weekly meetings. And I'm like, man, I'd have killed for just one meeting with my client. They kept pushing us off. And I think the narrative now is getting so much better where Dr. Green and OBU is able to tell people, hey, this is going to benefit you. Here are our past stories. This is how, and it's really helped a lot.
Yeah, I would say Nash was one of our guinea pigs. So we took some beatings in 2019. And finally, Ms. Powell.
I'd just say overall, really great job, you guys. As a landscape architect, we present to clients all the time. We have multiple concepts we have to present and we have to get buy-off on as well. And I think something that can never be underestimated is the graphic impact of your presentations. Everything just needs to be on point, from font selection, slide colors, imagery. If it's blurry, get it out. It's not going to work. Everything needs to be cohesive. And that will also help to establish trust with your client and the fact that you can help create a brand. Everything is a representation of yourself and the client. And so if you're creating a cohesive brand for the client, create a cohesive presentation that's going to match all of that work that you've done so far, because the work can be amazing. The information can be amazing. If you cannot communicate it effectively, it's just out the door. It's done. So I would really, really think about that, hone that, collect all of these examples for your portfolio for when you graduate, so you can track this back to future employers and say, look, I've done it, I've grown, this is maybe where I've started, and this is how I've escalated through the years. But overall, great job. I'm really impressed.
Great job. The one thing I want to mention is that this is a value chain. So we have the student, we can't, as a professor, I can't do it myself. I have alumni, they're their mentors. They have mentors through this process, working with the Career Center to do data, working with Dr. Holden, working along the line with Professor Lloyd. So this is how we make that thing work. And on the last note, Dr. Holden, you can wrap us up and we're gonna call it a day.
Hey, Dr. Green. First, I'm always the slowest guy on the reaction, so I'm gonna preempt it by giving you my virtual applause. And just saying thank you to our clients. It's really fabulous. Our students can work with you, especially all across the country. I'm grateful for Dr. Green putting this really practical experience so they can apply what they learn in their classroom. So just grateful, really pleased. Great job, students.
Now, I just want to mention team one. Team one was 6 minutes and 10 seconds. Let's give them a virtual applause, because I want to be fair, because that's what students talk about, be fair. Let's be fair. So they get the, so again, you hadn't seen anything. This is just we're just getting started on Friday. We'll finish up. Everyone is invited if you need, and we're gonna record this. We'll send this out to people. But God bless you, and God bless OBU. Have a wonderful and blessed day.
Hey, Sarah.
Hey,
Chris.
Sarah.
Hey, Chris. Solomon. Good to see you guys.
It was good seeing you, Dr. Cragen.
It's a family reunion.